hooey fucking alien shit.
Do you get to hand select your titties? Because Christy is very particular.
I'm just saying, if they made us in their image, they have body dysmorphia.
There's people that have died. I don't want to come back. Okay?
Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they boarded
A fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus may suddenly walk the streets of Winnipeg unsupervised, and the decision is causing concern. Facing the schizophrenic and found non-criminally responsible
before being exonerated in 1993.
Put me on the spot. Recording in progress. I thought I was giving it to Christy this time. She got me last time. She said it before I could say it.
Bet you.
She fucked me. She got me before I could say it.
I was
Very
waiting.
upsetting. This is a weird mash of worlds for me. I used to have the girls on one side and the dicks on the other.
Typical Friday night.
It's like a high school dance in here, or a grade school dance in here.
I've got you guys on the bottom, so.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Bottom dicks.
Haha, Christy, nice.
I'm gonna put us on the bottom now too. We were on the right before, but
Girls
we're
on top.
big bottoms. Heavy bottom. We're gonna learn about cloning right off the bat. This is a conspiracy one for sure. Yeah, I've been talking about this for a while and I've wanted to do it. I never really knew much about it. I just saw headlines about it. And as I dug deep into this, I got sucked into a wicked wormhole of hilarity. So I'm honestly, this is my favorite thing. I've written 20 episodes between dicks and this now, and this is my favorite one I've written. So let's do this. So cloning, we're learning about cloning. What is cloning? Described by National Geographic as a technique scientists use to make exact genetic copies of living things. Pretty simple, right? Genes, cells, tissues, and even whole animals can be cloned at this point. Sorry, cloning happens, it exists in nature somewhat to a point. Like asexual reproduction is kind of cloning. It's not fully cloning, but it is. It's just dividing a cell, right? Or identical twins, kind of clones, not really. In labs, this is how they clone people. They kind of like how our clone mammals anyway, kind of like how identical twins are. Get an embryo, they'll like split the egg or whatever, and then they get two things that have mostly the same. Okay, so we're following so far? Good, cloning. That's called embryo twinning. This creates two animals that share the same genes. The other way cloning is done is called somatic cell nuclear transfer. Somatic cells are all the cells that make up an organism that aren't sperm or the egg. They already contain two sets of chromosomes, unlike a sperm or egg, which only have one set. How they use somatic cells to clone is that they'll take an egg, remove its nucleus and DNA, then they'll transfer the DNA from the somatic cell into the blank egg, and it'll develop from there into an embryo. So it'll have the exact same genes of whatever you took from it, instead of it mixing genes.
Wow. I feel like RJ's already forgotten he's not on private dicks. He's like, Google.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, I have to listen to what Richard says and then translate it into, I guess, something beyond 10th grade English. The cloning thing with the thing and the somatic.
I'm happy that you double digited me. Grade 10. Thanks, man.
You're beyond your grade. Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, thanks. From then they'll implant the egg into the uterus and then until term. They're usually hard to do. Mammals, the somatic egg transfer thing. Translate, RJ.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that one. It was too dumb that time. Didn't register.
Okay,
my bad.
The embryo will contain the same genes as the cell donor and will be implanted to adult female's uterus until term. So the same genetic copy isn't the embryo you split. So it's like exactly the same cell that you got from another person. It's crazy. It's happened before. Do you guys remember Dolly? Dolly's my background.
That's who I was looking up.
It's our girl Dolly. 1997. Dolly was the sheep they cloned from cells taken from the mammary gland of a 6-year-old Finn Dorset sheep and an egg from a Scottish blackface sheep. yes, there's blackface sheep. And I'm going to say it right now because you guys already think I'm a bigot. I don't condone these sheep wearing blackface.
I thought you were just gonna say I don't condone these sheep. Period.
Yeah, I don't condone these sheep at all. She was named Dolly because they took the cell from a mammary gland, and Dolly Parton has big tits. So it's legit why they named her Dolly, because of
Science.
tits. I love scientists.
Just making memories.
Memories. This was all at the Rosalind Institute in Scotland, led by a whole range of scientists, embryologists, veterinarians, and farmers. As soon as they saw,
It's a motley crew.
yeah, exactly, farmers are thrown in there. I was like, okay.
It's a hell of a conference room.
I just want you to understand that to clone Dolly, they had a team of people, a shit ton of people that were all involved in this. It comes up later. So I just want you guys to understand there's like a lot of people, and we'll get into it. It took them fucking 277 tries to get Dolly. Most cloning mammals, it's highly inefficient. Only about 2 or 3 out of every 100 attempts to clone result in live offspring.
How many out of that 277 do you think they were just like, damn it, there's another human sperm in here? Who is doing this?
It was in Scotland, so lots of times.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's not even in the sheep. Why are you fucking an egg?
Yeah, I can't help myself. It just happens.
It's
that way.
instinct at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's 25 years ago. Okay, so 277 attempts. Dolly lived until 2003, and that's kind of like a half of a life. Yeah, 6 years. 6 years.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, sheep live like 10 to 12, so it was a short life. She had 6 lambs of her own over her lifetime, and she really didn't suffer at the fucking Science Institute. They fed her and everything. They just look at this, the fucking photo ops they're getting from Dolly. They loved her.
Yeah. Oh, they loved her.
Loved her.
Yeah, I think they sold
Yeah,
her.
she
They
didn't.
sold her wool for like 10 times the price of normal wool.
That's interesting. I didn't
Wow,
even
that's
read
what
into
it
that.
costs when it's covered in crusted cum. So
That and like it's the sheep himself was probably worth 10,000 times more than it should have been worth. So they were like, let's make the wool 10,000 times more than it's worth. This logic adds up.
I wonder if they turned her into a like lamb stew after she died.
Well, she was a sheep, so I doubt it.
Sheep stew.
You know,
Do you eat sheep? Is that a
mutton.
thing people eat?
That's mutton.
Mutton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't eat
in the
that.
haggis, isn't that like their stomach or something?
Ugh.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
disgusting.
Oh, they would have done
Yeah.
that because you said it was she was Scottish, right?
Yeah.
It was in Scotland. Yeah, they would have definitely done that.
They'd have done that and they'd have fucked her.
Yeah. Maybe
Man,
that's
I
why
wasn't prepared for this morning. Far out.
in her later years she had arthritis. So they're blaming like her short life
Oh.
and her arthritis on the cloning process, how birth defects and stuff can happen because it's such a precise process to actually like empty an egg that you can just fucking mash it up too much in there and you fuck shit up. Scientists are not perfect at this. It's very hard to do. But then later, like recently enough, which I just read this today, so I kind of added in the, they kind of proved that the aging, like the half age thing doesn't really, it's not affected by cloning. So that was just what they thought at the time. It's not real. Or maybe it did with that one, but they just don't think so. So when you asked with the 276 other ones, most of them didn't take. There was another bunch of lambs that came to term, but they all had birth defects and other abnormalities. So it's all
Got like
fucking
3
cloning.
heads, fucking 6 eyes.
They sell those for like $300 a pop to like freak shows, carnivals.
So I thought you were gonna say to like,
You thought I was going sexual on that one too?
of course I did.
You said $300 a pop. What else is she supposed to think?
Ew.
I feel like, hold on, no, your life is taking a hard left turn if you hear $300 a pop and immediately it's to hooking or anything sexual. Richard,
Hookers aren't cheap here.
that private health
They're
care.
cheap here.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Sign of the times.
There's actually a documentary. Sorry to sidetrack. There's actually a documentary about hookers in Edmonton, city where I live. It's like a whole.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
There's
wanna
also
watch
a
it.
card in Cards Against Humanity about what is it? An icy hand job from an Edmonton hooker.
Nice.
Dolly wasn't the first cloned animal.
Really?
No, she wasn't actually. They've been cloning mammals since the 80s, just not with the somatic method. So they were doing the embryo splitting method before. The first clone ever was on a salamander in the late 1800s. So they've had a idea on how to do this shit for a while. Just moving to mammals and more complicated species gets more complicated with the cloning as well.
I feel like I call bullshit.
On
I
what?
feel like some smelly scientist just like emerged from his stone basement. He was like, I've cloned a salamander. And everyone was like, prove it. He's like, I don't have to. It's a salamander and it looks just like this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
Yeah.
think anybody could tell salamanders apart with any kind of efficiency.
This
No.
one's got a dick. This one's got a dick.
Yeah, they're Germans too, so who knows how trustworthy they were.
Well, no, don't salamanders do that shit where they it's bold words coming from a Nazi heritage, but
Hey, whoa.
When did I say you should trust me?
that's true. That's true. It's the only time I'll give a Nazi credit. I thought salamanders could do that shit where they reproduce asexually though too. Like did pseudoscience to back up the Jurassic Park shit in the movie. Something about how they can.
Maybe. I'm just like, I'm giving a brief history. I'm not going deep into it. I'm just telling you that's the last time it happened.
How dare
or the
you,
first time
Richard?
it
How
happened.
dare
Sorry,
you not know the reproductive cycle of a fucking salamander?
Okay, I found this on the web for do salamanders.
Yes, they
reproduce
can.
It's just salamander porn.
So this guy was just going in and cutting them in half quicker. He's like, I made a clone. He just like helped it apart.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's not. I don't think that. like a fucking cell. The butt grows the head grows the butt. It's easy. No, it's what it is. It's parthenogenesis. It's when what's his fucking face? Ian Malcolm says life finds a way. It's how they figured out because they were all female in Jurassic Park.
That might have been the reason he could clone so easily, though. Like, I don't know how that process works, but that might be the reason because it's such it's as asexual reproduction. So maybe he figured out a way to like split whatever easier than having to have like an egg and a sperm and all the other things that go along with.
It's because a lot of them are. I don't want to use the politically incorrect term, but a lot of them are hermaphrodite. So they have both reproductive systems.
Cool. I thought you were gonna say a different word than hermaphrodite, so I'm just relieved. Some new slur for amphibians I didn't know.
No.
Oh, Richard knows it. He knows them all.
I'm sure he does, yeah.
Should write a book.
Racially insulting snakes and parcel tongue.
I've crossed all barriers of racism. I'm right into like racism against snakes now. Before it was
You fucking would, Richard.
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking would.
Of course I would. All right. So the reason Dolly's special is because they did the somatic cell thing, like I said. Before that, they thought it was impossible. Like no one could ever do that. So that's why Dolly got all the headlines. Since the days of Dolly, humans have cloned many animals, including cattle, deer, horses, rabbits, cats, rats, and dogs. Old Babs, Barbara Streisand, currently has 2 dogs, Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet, that are clones from her late dog, Samantha, who died at 14 years old. She's if you're curious, you can go look down a little rabbit hole on this too, but she says the 2 dogs have different personalities, but they do look identical, but they don't act the same.
Why don't you just buy a dog that was the fucking same breed then?
I mean, in all earnestness, exactly, yeah, because she can afford it. I looked into that shit because I read about it before. I'm doing it with pets. There's like whole like companies that do it. I think it's like 25 grand.
They bumped it.
Oh my god!
Originally, the first company that said they would do it was a company we're talking about later, but a company that was seriously put their backs behind this was like 100 grand, and then the next year a company came in and said we could do it for 50, and then it was 32. Now it's down to 25. So they don't even. It's not a efficient process. So whatever these dog mills are, it doesn't seem okay to me. I don't know, like just jamming a bunch of like maybe fertile eggs inside of these dogs who are just making $50,000 puppies for them.
Yeah, it's probably bad, but I mean, how cute, right? Come on.
Yeah, for sure. That dog was the only dog that could ever be that cute. So yes, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, like if I could see my dog as the puppy, oh my god, that would melt my heart. It looks here. They say they offer cat cloning. I find that to be stupid. All cats are the same. They're a hive mind animal. You gain nothing by cloning one.
It's cheaper though. They give you a discount with the cats. It's like 30 grand or something. You could do horses too.
It's 40 bucks and it's just another cat. It's not even cloned. They'll never know.
What the subject really is today, I just want to give a little background on cloning, is human cloning. What do you guys think of human cloning? What do you think about the clonage of a human?
I'm mad we haven't done it yet.
They should make that the only way to reproduce, because then there would be so many fucking people.
That's true. That's really I'm all for it now.
The sexual reproduction illegal. But I think we would need like a good governing body in charge of something like that. You know, somebody who's really good at controlling everything. Maybe like China. We should put them in charge of that, right?
Yeah.
Korea.
The North one, because the South one's no, but the South one's actually doing a lot. Anyways, we'll get into South Korea soon. You think in reality, you think that they should, who gives a fuck? Let's do that. I'm cool with that.
I mean, just for like the betterment of science, like let's just here's just spitballing. Let's clone like the worst person ever. So that way, like if it goes bad, there's like no qualms with just killing them. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to ask you. Who gets cloned?
That's how you could bring back slavery, though. You could just like take terrible people and then clone them and then sell them into slavery because they're not real people.
Dude, that would be sick if in like 2072 we just have armies of slave Hitlers. Like somebody goes down to that bunker and just like scrapes some like brains off the wall, and then we just have like boom, thousands, legion Hitlers.
Then we're risking an uprising of Hitlers, and think of how bad that went with one of them. Imagine
you
getting
clone them with a self-destruct button. What is this? Your first fucking day?
Yes. Yeah. See, Celeste knows exactly. Put like a little Suicide Squad chip in the back of their head. So if they do anything, you know, they start to get a little anti-Semitism-y. They just beep, boom, head explodes.
Okay, I'm okay with having a slave army of Hitlers. I guess that doesn't.
With self-destruct buttons.
Yeah. Well, being a Nazi, I feel like you'd be happy just having an army of Hitlers, but
that's awesome.
It wouldn't take long before people started selling them as sex Hitlers. Honestly, this is where it goes. And then Richard would have like 10.
just a fucking harem of Hitlers.
He'd sleep on a pile of Hitlers every day.
Yeah, okay. I have a Hitler fucking mansion full of Hitlers. They all blow me every corner, everywhere I go. Whatever room I walk into. But like, think about the child Hitlers you could throw at the molesters. Here you go, and you wouldn't feel bad. You know he's gonna grow up to be a Hitler. So then they wouldn't be hitting your kids anymore. Too far.
Well, but I guess that might transgress into a little bit of a moral quandary now, though, because like I'm thinking like when I was saying make Hitler slaves, I wasn't saying like raise them from birth and like they would have no concept of who Hitler is and what they've done. I was thinking like just like in the moment of time that Hitler existed, clone him and kind of just like
grow them in pods.
Yeah, and like a cartoon fashion, like with like some lightning in a tube and just boom, Hitler copies.
That would be cool, but that we're not like if we were there, then we could do that. But right now, as far as we know, you have to make a kid. You have to make a baby. Sorry. So what we can potentially do right now is make children.
Doesn't matter if you make them a different color, the world will accept it.
Yeah. I got an idea now. So it's a baby Hitler, so he has no concept of who Hitler is or anything. Raise him to be Hitler.
Raise him in an entire virtual reality.
Yeah.
The Truman Show.
Entire facility of like
exactly. Let him think that he exterminated 6 million Jews, and then just pull the rug out from underneath him, and then boom, he's just in the middle of like a fucking factory, just like screwing two little chips together for iPhones.
Could you imagine that moment where he's like putting a gun to his head?
Yeah.
And you're just like, nah, I got you. Come with
Yeah.
me.
And then boom, he just wakes up in like a brown jumpsuit with like 1,000 copies of him in the cafeteria of Foxconn.
What's up, newbie? Older Hitlers, younger Hitlers, this guy's all sorts of age ranges of Hitlers, but they all killed 6 million Jews in their brain. That's funny.
It's a lot of Jews.
Yeah. All right.
It's a lot of virtual Jews. I don't know. I feel kind of bad for the virtual Jews now.
Well, we don't want to get into simulation theory, Rick. So.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll bring that up next time.
I just what I wrote down here for my answer has nothing to do with Hitler armies.
Really?
All right. It was a slight digression. Move on.
No, I'm just gonna skip one. I'm gonna skip mine. Just saying I don't care. Clone people. Who gives a shit? So okay, what if I told you that there's a company out there that claims to have cloned a human in 2002?
Of course there is.
Would not be surprised.
Was this like fucking Man in the Iron Mask? Like they have him in like a fucking cell and the real one's like king and then the clone is just like sad and
We'll get into
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Can I guess what country it was?
yeah, sure.
China.
China, no.
Korea.
No. North Korea or South Korea is part of it, but no, it's good old fashioned US of A.
No,
Really?
fuck off. It is.
Woo!
But there's a twist to this, so let's talk about it. The company's called Clonaid, okay,
Yes.
and they're a business headed up by a UFO religion called Raelism. This is where I started getting into the fucking deep, dark, sucked in hole of this shit, and my god, I didn't realize this was part of it, but it is. So we're going to talk a little bit about Raelism. Raelism was founded in France in the 70s by an auto racing journalist named Claude Vaughon. All right. Yeah. In 1973, Vaughon claims to have met.
Are you going to do this the whole fucking episode?
Yeah, I might.
Please.
No, you know what? I won't be doing it for long. You'll see.
I need to know how that's spelled because that sounds like a made up pronunciation.
Vorilhon.
Warren Lawn.
No, but French don't pronounce
Vol-
the N on the end.
Vaughon. The L's not really in there either.
Don't worry, I'm pulling up the Wikipedia.
But it's going to ruin something. Okay. In 1973, Vaughon claims to have met 4-foot scientist aliens who claim to have landed their craft in a volcano. Now, I didn't know they had volcanoes in France. Apparently, it's a thing. All sorts of touristy fucking go up to the top of volcanoes. Who would have thought? Now, the alien's skin was gray-green, like someone with liver problems. That's his description, not mine.
That's yellow. That's yellow. Does he not know what color yellow is? Ah, the gray-green school bus is here. Off we go.
Look at all those grey-green taxis in New York.
I
What
was
the
just
hell?
like, why can't you just say gray-green? Why do we have to say it like, anyways, it's gray-green's perfect. I understand. I see that in my mind. When you go like, someone with liver problems, I've only seen maybe one person. You know what I mean? Like, I know what gray-green is. How many liver problems people have I seen? Better analogy if you want, though. You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
I used to work at the Cross Cancer Institute. They're very yellow and they have jaundice.
Jaundice, yeah.
Yeah, they're like the color of
Bananas.
Celeste background yellow.
Like they're like really super. Anyway.
This is great too. I've never heard aliens look like this part now. So they had almond-shaped eyes. Okay. The gray-green thing. Okay. Well-kept beard. Yeah, they had a little beard on them and a small shimmering bubble around their head. I guess maybe have their own atmosphere inside of so they could breathe.
Breathing apparatus, sure.
So Claude got to visit their spacecraft and they were so taken by Claude that he claims they renamed him Rael, the prophet for the Elohim. I'll get there.
Lord, my brain.
Rael claims to have had subsequent visits on their ships over the years where he claims to have enjoyed their voluptuous, this is quote, voluptuous and bewitching sex robots.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah. No reason to tell you that story except it's funny. The little greenish gray aliens loved Rael so much that they told him about the human's real origin, that everyone on Earth is basically a science experiment with alien DNA manipulation.
Okay.
Yeah. This is great. As soon as Rael knew the truth about our history, he invented a new religious movement quote unquote cult called Raelism to get the word out there to the people, because that's the only way that the aliens would reveal themselves, is he had to spread the word first so they weren't all freaked out. They didn't want to be attacked by the army. Okay, so just make sure everyone knows we exist, and then we'll come talk to everyone.
But isn't the army just like their children? Maybe if they were better disciplinarians as parents, the army wouldn't attack them.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible god aliens. The Raelism belief system is based on what Rael, formerly known as Claude, claimed to have learned from the aliens that night. So the realists believe that a super advanced alien species called the Elohim created humanity in their genetic image with their super advanced DNA and cloning technology.
Hold on, genetic image?
Yes, so they used their own DNA to create all life on Earth.
But they were
Right.
4'11" with almond eyes and little beards. And I'm gonna be honest.
And liver problems.
And liver problems. If I did see someone like that, I would be very, very. It would be a mix of fear and pity.
I once dated someone like that.
Yeah.
Is that why like 90% of the population of the earth has an alcohol problem? Because
Yeah.
our livers are like
Yeah, we're just subconsciously chasing that perfection of beauty of being 4'11" with almond eyes and yellow skin. Just like I'll get there one day.
Yeah, no.
But when you've had a few, they all look like voluptuous sex robots.
Yeah,
That's true. See?
They've been out in space getting space rays in them, evolving differently. They didn't make genetic
Space
clones, right? They've used their DNA to create life on Earth, all of it.
I'm just saying, if they made us in their image, they have body dysmorphia and are very, very delusional about how they look, because compared to them, everyone here is hot. Like,
Oh man.
the image I have in my head right now, very, very fugly. So they're just like, we're gonna create them beautiful,
Wow.
like we are, right? Right.
Yeah. Apparently, in their little alien history here, creating the humans part, the thinking humans, the animals and the land and whatever, the vegetation, all that stuff, cool, man, no problem. But making the humans, the ones that could think for themselves, that was against some sort of alien laws or some shit. I don't know. I'm probably getting this fucking wrong. I'm just trying to make it get a quick understanding. I just want to tell this for this part of the story.
It's like the plot of iRobot, but in space. Continue.
Yeah, he does this all the time.
Wait, so then if we're the robots, that means the voluptuous sex robots were just people.
We can hope.
So they made us to fuck us because they probably are so ugly they wouldn't.
This explains so much about probing. So much.
Yes.
Oh
Actually
my god.
does. I just want to tell you one little part of the story. That's the reason I even did this. So when they did the illegal stuff from space, there was a space alien called Satan. He was the fucking bat. He was like the cops, I guess. He was like, you can't fucking make humans, you crazy assholes. So he went and he nuked the earth. All right. Took out everything in there. But good guy Elohim, scientist, creator of humans, Yahweh, saves all living creatures in an ark above the world before Satan kills them all. So
Fucking arc.
Yeah.
Fucking space arc.
yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, if this guy had any credibility prior to that, he like that just sounds like, like that's his gotcha moment. See, because God and the depth, right? That's where all that comes from.
The Elohim actually told him that the Bible is a true account, but it's been obscured by mystical and futile sentences that have been added over the centuries. So the story is just the story of Yahweh, not Noah, Yahweh. He does this a lot. It's all disjointed. It's all weird, but I mean, we'll talk more about Raelism in a bit. This is what this guy is telling people and people are believing. The Elohim also told Rael that he has to build them an embassy on Earth. They gave specific guidelines to the building of the embassy. They needed a residence that must be built in a country with mild climate, 7 rooms always ready to receive guests, each with separate bathroom, a conference room able to accommodate 21 people, a swimming pool, and a dining room capable of seating 21 people. They want a swimming pool? They are like us.
They need bathrooms?
Yeah, exactly. That actually,
Doesn't matter what the room is. They're just sole purpose is to fuck us. That's why they want the embassy.
it's a variety of rooms.
We want to come back to taste what we made. All
A
right.
human brothel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
This is just a truck stop brothel, like in the grand scheme of the universe. We're just in the dumpster glory hole of the universe. All right.
Oh yeah.
yeah. It's like in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a planet like that they go to, and it's just all the sex robots.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We're just one big galactic fuck pad.
Why give us
Pretty
consent?
much
You made us. Why give us consent in the first place?
Yeah.
because it's more fun. That way.
They like the rapey
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They like when it's a
yeah,
little rapey.
yeah.
Okay.
They're
Yeah,
like, well, we gave him free will because a challenge.
that's right. It's no fun if they want it.
Yeah.
Wow. This is our savior.
For some reason, they just think we're all ugly, and we got to work that out. I don't know what that is.
Honestly, fair.
Yeah, there's some frumpy ones, We're not all what we see on TV.
No, I meant the aliens, but never mind.
I meant me. I'm fat.
I don't know. I think out of anyone in this room, you're the
Aw.
most their type.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get here and they're just like, "Oh, hey, dude, where do you work? Are you on the ship with us? Are you here too? What level did you
Is
come
my
from?"
skin gone gray? Is that what's happening? Am I green gray right now? It sucks. I feel good. So that was just first floor. The second floor was supposed to be the same, but that was an aliens only floor. And that's just the building. They had very specific instructions about the surrounding of the embassy, including a park, walls that have to be at least 1 kilometer away from the embassy itself. The roof of the embassy was supposed to be a landing pad for the Elohim. So since 1974, the Raelians have raised money, like $7 million worth of money to build the embassy. Still haven't built it. It's never enough money. Guess where they want to put the temple, guys? Guess where they want to put it? Take a guess.
Vegas.
Vegas is a good guess. It's for a different part of the day. Jerusalem. Huh. Weird.
Oh.
Lots just
Dude.
like the Bible just gets stolen so much in this. Just all weird future Bible.
That would be so funny though, if they ended up getting the funding and they just built an alien fuck shack over Jerusalem.
Right next to the Wailing
Right to
Wall.
the Wailing Wall. And we're wailing for different reasons now.
Pissing off the Christians, the Muslims, the Jew, just in one fell swoop.
Every single religion
Yeah.
is
RJ
mortified. at
RJ,
this.
you're gonna laugh so hard in about 2 minutes because hey, you're not wrong. Watch this. Okay, so they just steal shit from religion, right? So if they say the Elohim sent hybrid human Elohim is their like race, I guess, of aliens to Earth, 40 prophets over the course of mankind to help humans come to grips with this reality that they're a science experiment. Okay, prophets of Raelism include, but are not limited to. Take a few guesses who he says some prophets are.
Jesus.
Jesus is one for sure.
Of course, Jesus is one.
Yeah, Jesus.
Barack
is one.
Obama.
No, Barack.
What the
Sorry.
fuck? Mohammed.
Mohammed is one for sure.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa.
No, that chick's a bitch.
Who's the other big
She's a
prophet?
cunt.
Gandhi.
Gandhi's one.
Gandhi.
Right.
Yep. Buddha.
Buddha's one. John the Baptist, Moses, Elijah, Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
Yeah, Joseph Smith. He put him in there. He threw
That
the
one
fucking
pisses me off.
Yeah. Jesus was resurrected not by God, but by advanced cloning tech. That's what he says. Elohim cloning
Of
tech
course.
includes memories. So their cloning tech actually gets you the memories. It was what you guys were talking about before. The pods where the guys come out and they know everything from that's the Elohim can do that.
Sick. So Hitler was one of them.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll get to it.
I mean, he's the one he fits the height requirement to be one of them. So, and maybe his beard was just higher up on his.
He was real little, wasn't he? He's real short.
Yeah.
He wasn't a big guy,
No.
was he? He's tiny.
No, none of them usually these
Yeah.
guys are.
What about L. Ron Hubbard?
He's just a big fat guy, no? Wasn't he like a big husky guy?
Is he a prophet?
Oh, a prophet?
though?
I don't know. They don't give me the full list of prophets. I looked everywhere. I just got like 6 or 7. I got Moses, Elijah, John the Baptist, Joseph Smith, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, and Rael himself.
Wow. What a
Yeah,
list.
he's the 40th and final prophet. Shocker. Talked about that.
All these guys who've been established throughout history, and then some fucking guy.
There's a documentary about this guy, about Raelism, but a lady we're going to meet in this, she says about Rael, she's like, he's done more for the Elohim than any of the prophets in the past. Like they all died early. They didn't have a full life. He's 70 years old. He's done way more. Like she's saying he's the best out of Jesus, Buddha.
Yeah, that fucking pussy Jesus.
Because he lived
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah. So like I was like, wow, you guys are really fucking like, sure, why not? Clones. To get into this religion, you have to go through sort of a baptism. And I'm not joking when I say this. I'm not joking when I tell you guys this.
Sorry.
They don't call it a baptism. They call it the transmission of the cellular plan. And I'm not talking about like porting over your
Oh.
phone number to Verizon. Cellular as in cells in your body.
I'm sorry, Chrissy's laughed.
And
She was like, "Is no one else gonna laugh at this? All right, I'll just keep it going for Richard's sake."
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Richard.
You actually wrote that in the script, didn't
of course
you?
I did.
You put that right in
Of
the
course I
script,
did.
didn't you? Son of a bitch.
Of course I
Of course
did.
you did.
I write a lot. I just keep going.
I love it.
Cellular as in cells in your body, plan as in the genetic makeup of your body. This can only happen 4 times, 4 different days of the year. And the cell transfer can only be performed by the upper level members known as guides. The reason it's nicknamed a baptism, because that's basically what it is. Water on your fucking forehead.
Is it water though? This is a cult we're talking about, and it was based on voluptuous sex robots.
It's not
So-
Flavor Aid.
Yeah, they say it's water, but who knows? It's probably a vat of jizz. I don't know.
Is this where the Clitoraid comes in?
It's coming.
Clitoraid.
He said that to me. He's like, this story has Clitoraid in it.
All realists want is like globalism, a shift of focus to science instead of war. This is what they want. They want a common language like Esperanto.
I'm sorry. I'm
Oh.
still stuck on the Clitoraid. I've thought of it as female ejaculate ever since you saw it. Now every single time I'm like,
It's not that. It's something.
Is this a real thing?
We'll see. We'll get there.
Oh, all right.
They're French though. These people, okay. So they probably want French.
Mhm.
They want people to be
French
topless
buildings.
everywhere. They want girls to be able to rock those titties everywhere they go. This is a big.
look at Christy's fucking face. She's like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is a big time sex sensual fucking cult. These guys are fucking. Well, they are. They admit to it.
I don't mind titties everywhere, only if they're like good ones.
Wow, you elitist fuck. Let me have my ugly titties out, you asshole.
I want to go down the shop and see fucking 90-year-old Marge down there in the meat section picking out her fucking dinner with her boobies hanging in the.
You can avert your eyes. All right.
Yeah, it's not about you.
All right.
Not. It's about Marge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't she been through enough?
Yeah. 90 years of it.
I don't know how many times she's been probed before, so she can have her titties out as much as she likes.
Depends on how long her titties are, because that will. It's sort of like the rings in a tree.
All right. So, anyways, the end game for Raelism is that the Elohim are going to come here after an apocalypse and bestow their knowledge to mankind. Humans were created by Elohim with their DNA, like I said. So they're like our shorter, distant, shorter, yet smarter cousins, like Chinese people.
What? That was so fucking unnecessary.
I know, because you guys want me to be.
You remember they were supposed to be yellow too, right?
You're contractually obligated to be racist.
Yeah. Anyways, one of these things they're going to show everyone of the Elohim is the cloning technology. So the realists think that the Elohim are like recording all human thought and DNA. So when they come back here after the apocalypse, everyone that has died, everyone will be resurrected.
Oh no.
And what they're going to do is they're going to take evildoers.
There's people that have died I don't want to come back.
Oh, I thought you were like, just let me die.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I've been through enough. Just let me fucking die,
Just let me
man.
die. This
Come
is
on.
bullshit.
Anyone that was good, Christy, anyone that was good is going to get a planet. They're going to get to go on a planet and live there and have a
I'm
happy,
good.
good time. If you were bad, though,
A whole planet all by
go with other
yourself.
people, I'm sure you get to pick. I'm sure you get to do whatever you want. You're fucking resurrected in the eyes of Elohim. You know what I'm saying? You get to do whatever you want.
How fucking boring would it be having a whole planet just by yourself?
Do you get to hand select your titties? Because Christy is very particular.
Yeah. She's just gonna be. There was a glitch and they cloned like 40 Marges, so she's just gonna be on a planet with her and 40 long-titted Marges.
Oh,
That's 80 tits. That's 80 dangly ass titties.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought of an American ninja
Okay.
fucking dodging, swinging titties. That's what I thought of. I'm like, anyways, that's where my brain goes.
Like an obstacle course. A bunch of Marges.
You don't let Marge have the higher ground on your planet.
But the bad guys, the Elohim's going to take all of the bad guys, and they're going to have to face judgment for the bad shit they did when they were alive. So Hitler is specifically mentioned a bunch of times. He's going to come back to life. And he's going to have to face punishment. Hitler in general is actually mentioned a bunch. That's why I was laughing when you guys were talking about Hitler, because literally that's what's going to happen. Elohim's going to come here and get Hitler out here. We're going to public execute him. We're doing it. We got to kill him.
On one far extreme end of bad, we have outright evil genocide. What else qualifies you as a bad person? Like, what are the morals of this religion? Because, I mean, obviously that's bad.
This religion's all about love, man. This love.
All right. How many of these weird little jaundiced midgets am I going to have to suck off to get resurrected?
Everyone's going to. It doesn't matter who you are. Every single person's going to.
Yeah, I know. There's a catch. There's a catch.
I'm sure there is. Okay, I find this hilarious because they are low-key Nazi, and I'm going to show you why. Just let me share the screen. This is their symbol.
I know exactly what it's going to
look like. Do you describe it for me right now?
No, I know exactly in my mind what it's going to look like. It's going to have the swastika on it, right?
Low-key Nazi. Yeah. It's just going to be Richard's face.
Yeah.
It's a swastika with a beard.
And a little tiny mustache.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it's gray-green.
No, it's fucking yellow.
It's a symbol of love, baby.
Okay, this is this is legitimately their symbol.
It's the Star of David and the swastika.
Star of David on the outside, swastika on the inside. This might be the most offensive symbol in the world.
This is literally like summarize the Holocaust in one image.
And they want to go build their palace in Jerusalem. Like this is 1970. This is 25 years after World War II. These are all Holocaust survivors. They're not going to let you put your shit in their fucking. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fuck, that is all kinds of offensive. That is just.
They're from France. Like France was under Nazi control not that long before this. Like you guys remember.
It looks like the symbol they'd use if there was like an undercover, like, you know, like secretly Nazis pretending to be Jews to out other Jews sort of bureau. In 1940.
Nazis for Jews. Don't worry, we're the good ones. We're the good guys.
Yeah. And they just like rip part of the patch away and they're like, gotcha.
It's just the middle. So
taking you all out of this attic.
Yeah, I find that crazy. They did rebrand their flag recently. So that Lebanon would let them.
What the fuck is it now?
It's a Star of David, but it has like a swirl on the inside instead of the Nazi symbol. So it's got like a
the swirl's the N-word.
Close your eyes and look at it from a bottom angle. It definitely says Jews. Yeah, so they had to rebrand it because Lebanon was the only way they were going to let them put the embassy in their country. So they're going to be putting it in Lebanon. Still haven't yet. Those 7 million is not enough. They have their spiritual headquarters in rural Quebec, Canada, about an hour drive outside Montreal, surrounded by cattle farms and nothingness, and it's called UFO land. Now, yeah, it's like a wannabe futuristic building, like doors will close behind you, like you're in Star Trek. You know what I mean?
I changed my mind. Let Quebec separate. They can be.
Yeah, they can have the Raelists. Inside of it's like just like their headquarters kind of thing, but they also have like a Raelism museum, I guess. In the museum has like a replica UFO that Rael or Claude got into. It's just one of those like side of the highway shitty attractions, you know what I mean? But to them,
like the world's biggest ball of yarn.
How dare you?
I wasn't making fun of the ball of yarn. I think
it's kind of cool. Like this place I would go check out. It's got a bunch of like genetic, like actual biology facts. Like they have 2 big stem cells that go 26 feet into the air that spin, and then underneath it has like, it explains Dolly, it explains the Human Genome Project, like actual. And then you go over to the other side and it goes like the Elohim are real too. So it's like a weird mixture of like actual science shit and wooey fucking alien shit.
Wooey hooey fucking alien shit.
Yeah.
Title of the episode.
we fucking alien shit. All right.
Cloning's a huge part of their cult. They think they're going to get immortality through cloning, like their mighty Elohim buddies. They want to be able to pass memories like their Elohim. So this is what Clonaid. This is why they started Clonaid, so they could start getting into that. I'm trying to honestly. I'm looking into this thing, this Raelism a lot, and they say they have 100,000 members worldwide, which is probably like half of that. But I mean, that's still a lot of fucking people. Like 50,000 people believe in this shit.
I bet it's not even 10% of that. That shit is so faked with all these groups. They always fake their numbers.
It's like 8 dudes with a lot of free time.
Yeah. And to say that they said they've successfully cloned somebody.
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right.
So they start the cloning company because they want to do their whole Raelism shit. It's a big part of I just thought Raelism was fun. So before I'm going to go on a little sidetrack here, this is your part. Another company that Raelism is linked to is called Clonaid.
Okay.
And their goal is to end female genital mutilation worldwide.
Oh, so it's like a benefit concept.
Yeah. So
Clonaid.
Okay. I agree with that. That's great.
they do a thing called Adopt a Clitoris Day. So if you guys want to go out there and adopt a clit, go. You guys just look up.
Have one of my own.
You can adopt another one. Somebody.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is such a cool name for like a lesbian dating.
Are you
night.
gonna get Bo a clitoris for her birthday?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, like you're naming a star after her.
Yeah.
Imagine how happy that would make Bo, though.
It's Valentine's.
Like, just imagine.
It's Valentine's Day in a few days. Okay, you got this.
We saved 5 clitorises in your name.
Here's five Iranian girls. I just saved their clits. Oh my God, it's like a world peace on your fridge. Like,
Yeah.
Oh goddamn.
Clitori.
They send you
Nice.
like letters.
Nice
like a
little
pen pal
Microsoft
program.
Word certificate.
You get updates like every few months on how their clitoris is doing.
Oh.
Your donation went to
Hell yeah.
Anyways,
You get their monthly orgasm total. It's just like you have assisted.
oh man.
Oh,
They do have
goddamn.
like, I don't want to get too far into it, and I don't even know if you want to put this in the episode, but like legit, they have like clit restoration things or whatever, which is cool, whatever, because of the fucking mutilated people. But then right after, they get like masturbation training sessions. So like, if you've never had a clit before, let's show you how this thing goes, like a new car. Like, let's show you how this thing, like, let's give it a whirl, pop it up, pop open the hood, get in there.
because clitoral hood. That's funny. That's really funny. I like that.
What do they do with the ones that were already taken off though? Can you donate for those?
I don't know. You'd have
Like
to
a
go
big
look,
like-
go look at Clitoraid's website.
Like clit chain for your keys.
Go.
They actually reconstruct it.
I don't know.
Yeah, is it like organ donation? You
Put
can-
it.
Yeah.
When I die, you can have my clit. All right. But I mean, I wouldn't trust this fucking place because it's done by Raelists. If you want to help someone who has like genital mutilation, I'm sure there's many better websites. Don't go to fucking Clonaid. That's what I say. Fuck these guys.
There are
Yeah.
other places that do
I would
this?
imagine there's got to be. There can't just be Clonaid helping the clits out there. There's got to be a ethical clit doctor out there. There's got to be some ethical clit people.
I gave their website a hit here just because I was curious. They are a 501c3, so it very well could just be their way of laundering.
So what were you saying, RJ? What's the acronym of the letters and things you said? What does that mean?
Oh, it's in US. They get tax exempt status if you're a 501c3 because you're a charity.
Oh.
It's just a way to like, do the IRS switcheroo thing.
I got you.
And they basically don't pay taxes on any of this.
Whoa.
But the fun part about it is their tagline, restoring a sense of dignity and pleasure.
That's good. Hey man, like if it's helping, it's helping.
Sense
I
of
don't.
dignity
I,
and pleasure. That's
I
nice.
haven't looked up.
Yeah.
I just thought Clonaid was funny, so I should have looked more into them to see if they're ethical before I go. Like, don't use them because who the fuck knows? Maybe they're good.
Right. Well, they're tabs. Like a website has like the tabs at the top, so it's got like home, about, doctors, news, and then one of them is just the clitoris. Which is awesome because they just have a full page denoted to describing what the clitoris is.
You are welcome, Misty, for this episode. RJ is getting educated right now.
I didn't even know what it was till we were talking about it. So, but I love how there's like 5 YouTube videos on here that are just like unavailable. So like they have like embedded and they're just gray.
don't
And
work,
they're like,
yeah.
you can't watch this.
Yeah. Fucker. All right. Anyway, so yeah, the Clonaid, I just had to mention. I couldn't let that lie. I saw that. And I'm like, nope, we're talking about it for a second. So they make Clonaid. All right. Rael and a group of investors founded a company in the Bahamas named Valiant Venture Limited, which was like, I guess, the group of people that invested in making the company Clonaid, or it's like their parent company or something. But Valiant Venture is the main company that has Clonaid, Clitoraid, and a few other aids that we'll see in a bit.
What is it?
Valiant Venture Limited.
Oh, it'd be funnier if it was VLB.
Yeah, vulva.
Vulva.
The goal of Clonaid is to get the ultimate goal of being able to live forever. This is how the white tunic wearing Rael described his cloning aspirations to a New York Times reporter in 2001 article. So this is a quote from Rael. Okay. You can call it eugenics, but not in a bad way, like the Nazi way of thinking before, which results in a superior race. No, cloning would be available to all human beings to improve their characteristics and possibilities. Told you, low-key Nazi.
How? What? To improve their characteristics and opportunities. How? Cloning yourself doesn't like change you. It's just a new person that lives the same shitty life you did.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, if you were cloned in this way, you'd be like grown from you could not do the things to you that you did to you, so you'd be different and better in ways like that, right? In your mind.
How do you abuse yourself, sir? That you feel like you would need a whole new body. You were looking at that as like an opportunity because, oh man, I put this one through the ringer.
Wouldn't that
And he's
be
also
good?
trying to say it would be like for everyone, get the fuck out of here. Everyone can have a yacht, I guess, if you have enough money. Like, it's not going to be for everyone. Shut the fuck up. Clonaid's scientific director was and is Raelian bishop named Dr. Bridget Boisselier. She is a PhD in chemistry and she has a background in the oil and gas industry. It was a really weird move for this weird cult to start a cloning lab. Controversial. People right away, as soon as they talked about Clonaid, it like blew up in the article. It's a human cloning lab. There's been bans on human cloning in Japan and most of European countries, including Britain at this time. Canada's jumped in there, but not the Bahamas, guys. The US didn't have a ban per se on cloning, just a moratorium on spending government funds on cloning research. President Bill Clinton even asked private companies to put a similar moratorium on their funds. So he asked very nicely, said, hey, companies, you guys might not make money that way, please. I find that stupid. Just make it illegal. If you want it to be
Because
illegal.
the government was trying to do it
Yeah,
at
probably.
the same time.
Yeah.
And they were like, shh, guys, don't.
Yeah. Don't tell everyone. What
Come
are you doing?
on.
Yeah. The golden medallion wearing Rael dispelled worries about the yuck factor by the places banning cloning by talking about Louise Brown. Does anybody know who Louise Brown is? Probably not. It's new to me. She was the first test tube baby, IVF baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
when she was first conceived, everyone was like, it's a monster. The ethical implications. Now there's like 3 million people that get IVF every year worldwide. So he tries to say that, like, that's his defense of the whole thing. They were trying to be like very PC with the whole thing, to like, they're like virtue signaling their reasoning behind this. I think the more reason was they want to be immortal, but they're like, no, it's going to let homosexual couples and infertile couples give them a chance at genetically similar children. That's why we're doing this. It has nothing to do with us wanting to live forever. No, it's for them. You know, I don't buy that.
A very valid argument.
Yeah. Sure, that's just a byproduct of what you're actually doing. It's not really because of that. That's how they tried to like ethically make it okay.
Wait, okay, maybe I misunderstood. Never mind. I thought this was people detracting from it, saying, no, we can't let homosexual people have genetically
Oh no.
related children.
No,
And I was like,
Clonaid was claiming that's why they're doing it, to help people. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're doing it
Right.
for your religion. Get the fuck out of here.
They are, but that is okay. I understand now.
Yeah, they were going to charge $200,000 to make a clone of a human. Any straight couple who had money but didn't want to get the stretch marks would have been more than welcome. $200,000 was a tenth of the price that Texas A&M University was claiming the process would take if it could actually even happen. So nobody could understand how they could do it for so cheap. It doesn't even make sense. But Clonaid, they expected 1 million customers Don't worry about it. We're going to get 1 million people. It's not going to be hard. It'll be easy. Not efficient to clone mammals. Never mind the more complicated humans, the more complicated it gets. They just did a primate for the first time, cloned a primate in 2018. So like that's how far away this was. This is 1998.
I can imagine like super rich assholes like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk wanting to clone themselves.
Bezos has a fucking dinosaur. Let's be serious.
That's his
Yeah,
third
exactly,
clone.
like,
That's what I'm trying to say.
You ever watch Altered Carbon?
I've seen like an episode. I've never watched it.
It's not worth it. The first season was cool, but it's the rich people, you can clone yourself, but they have these things called stacks. They're like little discs that you insert in the back of their neck, and that's where like their consciousness lives. So they just create copies of themselves. As long as the stack isn't destroyed, they're fine. But then the rich people figured out a way to keep like a cloud upload. So like regular people die, but rich people live forever.
Yeah.
And that's effectively what Elon Musk for sure has.
Yeah. That's what he wants.
Like that dude did not just whip up a full head of hair just from transplants. There's no way. That is a cloned body. Yeah.
He's so weird looking. He makes me
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
he's just a weird dude in general. By June 1998, so like a year-ish after they started the company, Brigitte Boisselier announced that Clonaid had their headquarters located in Vegas, but they just didn't have enough money to clone a human yet. Boisselier claimed to have assembled an all-star team of 3 to do the cloning: a geneticist, a biochemist, and an OBGYN, who have been practicing their cloning skills full-time at Clonaid with cattle. They're ready for a human. They're ready to move on. Let's cattle, then human. That's got to be the easy step. No problem.
Yeah. Completely different species, but whatever.
Yeah. And like I said, it takes hundreds of tries, and humans aren't like dogs where you can have a litter of 6 or 7. You know what I mean? If you push it, you get 1, maybe 2. So they claim they had volunteer surrogates up to 50. She claimed that all the surrogates were willing to get abortions if needed, if the ultrasound showed any defects or anything wrong during pregnancy. No problem with that.
That seems fucking unethical, but okay.
Yeah, super crazy. And then she's telling this to the reporters. This isn't like a hidden thing. Like, this is her advertisement. She also claimed she had a lot of human eggs. They were just donated by Raelian females and a lot of civilian volunteers. People just want you to fucking do this. Like I said, if the cloning stats are the same for mammals as they were with humans, it'd be 2 out of every 100 embryos being viable. So they're going to need shit tons of people. It's so crazy, so gross.
I hate that.
If pregnancy failed, apparently the other surrogates were just like waiting in the other room, like, my turn. Load me up.
Load me up.
Oh God, I hate this. I hate this so much.
It's so full of shit. They didn't have 50 people. That's what I'm saying. Like, get out of here. You couldn't find 50 people to do that. You're full of shit.
I mean, it's a cult. If they actually have that many people in the cult, it's not really
even worse than they convinced them to do that, which is crazy. She was so confident that she had these people. She like gave names of some surrogates to the reporter. One of them was her daughter, her 22-year-old daughter. Just being like, here, you should be one of these people that may have to get a fucking abortion.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, well, hold on. I mean, it's in the name of resurrecting everybody. It's for the greater good.
That's how when they called these surrogates, when this reporter called these surrogates, that's how they framed it.
Okay, Thanos.
It's called utilitarian ideology. Read some philosophy books.
It's called utilitarian idiot something.
Yeah, it is something for sure. But yeah, that's how they all described it to the reporter, was like, this is going to save the world. Obviously, I would sign up for this, but there was 2 of them. She said she had 50. She talked to her daughter and another person. Since they didn't have the money to do any human cloning, their plan was to clone people's pets to pay the bills, which I don't think they ever did. The first pet was cloned, like the first dog was cloned in 2005 in South Korea at the Seoul National University. They cloned a male Afghan hound named Snuppy. The SNU in Snuppy stands for Seoul National University.
Sorry, Snuppy.
Snuppy's
It's
a good boy.
It's like they tried to name him Snoopy, but they don't speak English.
Or we just misunderstood.
I'm glad that's as racist as that got, because I saw that going somewhere else.
Really? I got nothing.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, I'm not the racist one. Richard?
Yeah.
I got nothing on this
one.
one. Whoever smelt it dealt it, I guess. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Something about them, they ate it.
No, I
Yeah,
understood.
yeah.
Here we go. They ate
Yeah.
it after.
Oh,
They
was-
cloned them for a food source. Anyway, there we
Yeah,
go.
when you said they first dog in South Korea, I was gonna say they must have been hungry.
Mm.
For a second.
there's like I said, nowadays there's a bunch of companies that'll clone your animals. A bunch in America, a bunch in South Korea. Sorry, I don't know about North Korea. I doubt it. They got a lot of problems that don't involve cloning already. So yeah, like I said, $50,000 is what they do your dog for. So that's what Babs paid for.
It's terrible wording.
Is it? Yeah, sorry.
50 grand to do your dog.
Yeah, I heard that one too. I just like to watch.
I told you there'd be a bestiality episode.
Can
All
you imagine if like this was just a whole conspiracy and like they weren't actually even cloning the animals? They were literally just okay, so your poodle died. Here's another poodle. Like
Oh yeah, that would be hilarious.
$50,000.
Yeah, it's just like a warehouse with just a bunch of like thousands of puppies just running around and a guy just like picking them up and throwing them over his shoulder until he finds one. that, like,
Yeah.
works.
I found one. Yes.
Well, it makes sense, right? Because rich assholes all have purebred dogs that all look the fucking same. It's not like some rich asshole's gonna have a mutt they want cloned.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They're just
They're
like
setting themselves up to be conned.
What happened to Snuffle's freckle on his belly? Oh, the cloning process. It erases that.
We polished them after.
Yeah.
but with cats, with cloning, even if you clone a cat, they won't have the same coat as the cat prior because it's a part of a different part of the way they're. I don't really fully understand it, but the
Really?
the hair on a cat,
Sounds
even
like
if it's a
bullshit.
full blown like stomatic clone, it's not. There's no guarantee it'll have the same coat because of a different protein.
Sounds like bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Cats aren't living things. They're like a couple steps above bugs. I'm not.
What
a
the
fan.
fuck did a cat ever do to you?
I just don't like them. They're not. Like there's like cats, reptiles, bugs. Like that's just how it. And above that is like every other mammal. that
Next
actually
mystery on
has-
Private Dicks. What is up with RJ's cat trauma?
Fun story. This has nothing to do with how I feel about cats. I just think they're worthless. But I did once pick up a cat that I thought was a nice cat that I knew, but it just looked really similar, and it was that cat's mom. And it lunged at me and wrapped its arms and legs around my head and gnawed at my forehead while screaming.
Wow.
So again, not a pleasant experience, but I also just took it off of me. They're weak, shitty little animals. So it's not like they're intimidating or anything. I just don't care for them.
Wow.
Why'd you pick it up anyway?
In late 1999, early 2000, Andrew Hunt, a 10-month-old baby, died in an operating table during a simple procedure in the U.S. I don't know which state it was. I think it was West Virginia, but I can't remember. Or yes, West Virginia.
Yeah, they still used leeches in West Virginia until about 2005 for all medical procedures. That tracks.
God damn.
The doctors said this is going to be a simple procedure. It wasn't. He died. He was the son of West Virginia politician Mark Hunt. He and his wife missed their son and didn't want to have another child. They wanted this kid. So they sought out Clonaid and Bridget Bosselier to clone her son. The Hunts decided they were going to use a malpractice suit that they would get for the death of their son to make a new son. Plus, they're already rich, so whatever. They're just going to spend the money.
Isn't this the plot of AI?
I think we said that once. Or was it iRobot before?
Was I Robot before?
Mm.
Yeah,
AI is the weird one from Steven Spielberg.
that's right. Yeah, so they're going to use the money. And with all the hype around Dolly, with the promises Clonaid provided us specifically from Rael and Bridget, this was a no-brainer. Why not? They just wanted this boy to live. It's not fair. He only had 10 months of life.
And he only ever will. A clone is not the same thing as coming back to
Exactly.
life. For fuck's sake.
They wanted to remain anonymous at first, and they were. Bridget did make a press conference after press conference about the funding because they funded to do it, but didn't say. They just called them anonymous. But anonymous meant like, let's do this under the radar, like not let's have 50 press conferences till people figure out who we are. All right.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
give
dear.
$500,000 to Clonaid. Clonaid sets up a research lab, a secret cloning research lab in Nitro, West Virginia, just a small town of 4,000 people. And when I say set up a lab, I mean they got a room in an old room in a high school. That's where they set up shop for. They rented a room in a high school.
Well,
Wow.
they rented that because it was left vacant after the hospital that was set up in there foreclosed because they just kept killing 10-month-olds and couldn't keep up with the malpractice suits. It's fine though because now the hospital's inside of a Kmart, or it was until all the Kmart's closed.
Whoa, this is Nitro, not New York City. It's in a Dollar General. Thank you. A caretaker at the secret facility, meaning the school janitor, in my opinion. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. He went and he saw the lab and he's like, this can't be a lab. And he called the FDA. He's like, come look at this lab. This can't be right. The FDA came and they're like, what are you doing here? He had one piece of equipment that was expensive, but the rest was not hygienic, nothing. So they shut her down. They said, no cloning here, Bridget. What are you doing? You can't clone. You got to promise no more cloning. They literally said, until the laws are clarified, promise us you're not going to clone anymore. Stop it.
I'm honestly just way more impressed that a high school janitor from West Virginia was able to eyeball a science lab and go, that's not up to snuff.
That's how bad it was. So they Bridget goes, fine, I won't clone. So then there's a federal inquiry into the lab and practices of Clonaid in general. And Bridget and Mark Hunt are forced to sign a contract with the FDA stating they wouldn't clone. So they went back further. They said, we got to figure out the laws on this to sign this. So they were pissed, Clonaid, and they shut down their Nitro lab and they brought it to an unidentified foreign country by 2001. They wouldn't tell anybody where it was because everyone's treating them like Frankenstein. And now at about the same time, Bridget was claiming that within a year, the first human clone would be produced. In March 2001, after the shutdown of the lab, they claimed they'd be cloning in a year. Bridget was invited to speak at a U.S. Congress hearing on human cloning. She begged to let the white tunic donning, gold medallion wearing, balding front top knot, back hair having, French accent speaking Rael allowed to come to speak to Congress, which they said, sure. They said, let's do this. Let's let the cult leader speak in Congress about cloning. That seems like a good idea.
Oh my God.
Hey, listeners, do you love true crime podcasts but are sick and tired of listening to the same cases over and over and over again? Seriously, how many times can you listen to a story about Ted Bundy or the Golden State Killer? If I have to hear another podcast about Richard Ramirez, I'm going to carve a pentagram in my forehead and kill myself. Now, if you feel the same way I do, then you have to listen to Mode Mischief. Mode Mischief is a true cybercrime podcast. They tell stories about the world's most notorious hackers and the lives affected by them. You'll hear stories about the dark web and what goes on down there. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts or find a link to the show in the description. Mode Mischief. You're going to love it.
Oh my God.
I don't think we need the video. You just described him in so much detail.
It was perfect. Perfect description. I can see him in my mind's eye.
That was pretty good, but I'm going to need the visual aid so that I know exactly how I'm going to model my aesthetic when I'm 70.
This is in 2000, so he's only in his 50s now.
I don't know why you think you'll make it
hell
to
yeah.
70.
Wow.
No, because there's going to be cloning. So your body's going to start to go when you're like in your like late 40s, early 50s. And you'll be like, you know what? My knees fucking hurt. I'm going to clone myself because it's the same fucking thing as living longer.
Yeah, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I can look like this guy.
My God, he's got a man bun and he's also balding.
I love that. I love that. That is so nice.
Look, I don't discount what he's saying about that science. Yes, science has helped us with antibiotics and penicillin and all that kind of crap, but that's where I draw the line. The rest of what he's saying is absolute fucking bullshit.
I mean, he went after Congress. That was great. He was just like, this will be your fault. A man,
he's like, if I don't get to live forever, it will be your fault.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
2 minutes of listening to a French guy and now you're laughing like a French
guy. Yo, dude, I'm trying to adopt that whole aesthetic. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work on the accent. I'm gonna start doing the tunic next week. I'm gonna get me some new glasses.
Yeah, grow out your hair.
Yeah, I'm working on the hair, but I mean, I got to get rid of the top part, which is not going to be too much of a problem. But I want to do that top knot, dude. And then the pencil mustache. Ooh.
Again,
That-
you're welcome, Misty.
Yeah, that man is confident.
Oh, definitely.
He's
That's all cult
something.
leaders are confident, and Rael's no different than
Yeah.
a Jim Jones and the only thing is all he wants is blowjobs from 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. And none of those bitches like Jim Jones or the other fucking dudes, they did not have the same tasteful aesthetic as that man. So
yeah. Oh well.
they can go fuck
I don't know.
themselves.
I like a turtleneck.
Yeah. Rael married a
Turtleneck?
16-year-old when he was 40. Let's not give him too much props.
I didn't say he was a good dude. I just like his style.
This is what backpedaling looks like.
No, I didn't. I'm not backpedaling from shit.
No, Rael's
That's a cool looking
he's
dude.
interesting for sure. I watched that whole documentary. It was hilarious because he's so full of himself. But anyways, we'll keep going here. The Hunts are fucking outed, and so they're out. They don't want to do cloning. In the years after, they told reporters that they felt ripped off by the whole experience, like it didn't actually do anything. We were super sad. They were being taken advantage of. I saw that they got most of their money back in a couple articles. They got most of their money back. So sure, stupid of them, but cool, you know, like grief does some shit. But they also outed them as people, so they're pissed about that. Like, fuck, we wanted to be anonymous.
Well, I wouldn't want people to know that my name was Mark Cunt anyway.
You know what? They are retarding science.
Yeah.
Hmm? Yeah.
He said that.
And that's unacceptable.
He said that in Senate.
Richard's like, he said retard.
was I, man?
No, that was Celeste cackling the moment the R word came up.
I absolutely
Yeah.
was. I was cackling. No shame.
In Congress, though. It's awesome. Anyways.
And he said the N-word.
Yeah.
I know.
He dropped a Napoleon.
And
bomb.
there was a man of color behind him. How dare he?
Actually, the guy,
He said retard and the N-word in Congress.
the black dude behind him,
Guy.
the black dude behind him was actually into him, though, right? Did you watch him a bit? He's like, yeah. Like he was right into the guy. So
I mean, I just loved how he was throwing down, saying this is millions of people's suffering will be on you.
yeah, you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Congress.
I get it, RJ. I still love Edgar Allan Poe.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so much.
Right.
Yeah, you might be a decade or two too old for him.
Yeah, at
but-
this point. Don't hold your breath. July 2001, I put this in because I thought it was funny. The Raelians lent out, it doesn't add to the story. I'm sorry, it just had to be said. In July 2001, the Raelians lent out their prototype unit called an RMX 2010, which was supposed to be some.
They what?
It's called an.
Sorry.
They lent out a prototype unit to South Koreans. It was called an RMX 2010, which was supposed to be some sort of embryonic cell fusion system. They were lending it to some South Korean science museum. The Koreans were pissed right away. They got it. They're like, how does this work? We don't know how this works. And the Raelians were like, don't worry about it. It works. And they're like, how though? And they're like, don't worry about it. And they wouldn't take it apart and they wouldn't show them. They just said, here's our prototype. They just gave them a box. That's how confident they are.
It's a fucking microwave.
Yeah.
When it dings, the cell's ready.
Yeah,
okay.
ding.
Well, no, you gotta put the whole 10-month-old corpse in there. And I think it's like
Oh, of course.
you gotta combine it with the weight and the defrost button, which nobody knows how to use. So that's why
Never.
they figured it
We've
out.
all had
That's how
cloning machines this
yeah.
whole time.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you can't make heads or tails of that when you hit weight or defrost. It turns into nonsense.
Yeah, they should just.
Oh,
It's alien
just
tech.
In
awful.
reality, microwave should have like a one button and just like up time by a minute, and then just start button. Like,
Oh yeah, nobody used it. You ever use one of the buttons for the actual thing? It says like it's like popcorn.
cook a turkey. Like
Burnt.
cook a turkey.
Yeah.
What do you mean? In the microwave?
Yeah. Oh, yep.
All right.
No.
So by August 2001, Rael and Bridget were both invited to the Symposium on Human Cloning held by the National Academy of Sciences. The Academy invited them specifically so they could speak with people who were involved in cloning animals to scare the cultists out of doing what they were promising to do. Rael and Boisselier were undeterred. In fact, when questioned, Bridget confidently answered questions with scientific incoherent mumbo jumbo so convincingly that the press bought their plan and started to think that the Clonaid people knew what they were talking about. The scientists were like, they're not saying real things.
God.
Didn't matter. Media took it and went, they're good. These guys are got some shit going on over here. So by February 2002, Clonaid announced that they had a new client, terminally ill rich Israeli man who wanted to clone a baby to take over his business when he passed. Like, this is a terrible plan. The kid would be a baby when his older version dies. Like, you're dying.
That's so
You're an idiot.
fucking Mr. Burns.
Yeah, it is so Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
They wanted to give, like, it's not like the kids was going to get memory of their past life anyway. What are we, Elohim? No, we're just humans. We don't know shit.
You don't know that. Maybe if we actually successfully cloned a human being, the aliens would come back and just like train
yeah,
it.
exactly. You did that wrong.
You
You
train
got to
it.
put 2 pinches of salt. Other
That's
cloning
it.
companies started to pop up, claiming they were close to a clone too. Nothing ever really came of these companies. Some of them really actually sounded crazier than Clonaid, which I found was fun. But we're talking about Clonaid today. I'm not going to get into they're just other places were like, we're doing it too. And never really happened. 5 years after the conception of the company in 2002, the Clonaid announces that they had successfully produced a human clone. Director Boisselier held a press conference at the Holiday Inn in Hollywood, Florida. Or the Holiday Inn in Hollywood, Florida. She for sure thought she was going to the other Hollywood. There's no way she didn't think she was doing that. She's like, Florida, shit.
That's why the tickets were so cheap.
I booked the wrong hotel.
Yeah, they announced that a
Jesus.
31-year-old American Jewish woman sought out Clonaid's help in conceiving after many fertility treatments failed. She provided the cell and the ova to the Clonaid, and the surrogate provided by Clonaid brought the embryo to term. Boisselier and the team nicknamed the baby Eve because she was born 2 days earlier than the press conference on Christmas Day 2002.
So she looks like one of the aliens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they're described.
She is not a good looking lady. Like, wow. She looks like her hair is like, what do you describe that hair as? I don't know.
Fucking
Like 80
Tobacco.
yeah, it looks like
For some
straw.
reason that works so well. Tobacco. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, but yeah, so they had the press conference, but it's just her by herself, no doctors, nothing.
I love how she's like, yeah, I wish, like, I wanted to have the baby and the parents and the scientists and everything with me, but I'm here alone because, and I'm expecting her to say, because it's a crock of shit and there is no baby. And this press conference is purely because I wanted to go to Hollywood. And I'm in Hollywood, Florida, and I didn't realize. So
It's crazy. And then she
Yeah.
doesn't do that. She should have done that. What does she do? She doubles down and goes like, but the date is going to be here. I promise. Like, just not today. Just born 2 days ago.
yeah.
Give her a couple days, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess 20 years later, we still have hide nor hair of this baby.
Clonaid even recruited Dr. Michael Gullion as science. He was the science editor for ABC News. His job would be to test and verify the claims and report them back, since he was not part of the Clonaid team, right? He was neutral party. He knew a lot of people from his job. He was, I think he's a he's not a doctor of this field. So he got a team together, a bunch of guys that he knew, a bunch of impartial DNA experts. And he told Bridget, like, the only way we're going to do this is if there's no strings attached and the actual DNA testing is done by the guys I give. She said, no problem. The science community thought this was horse shit right away. It's not like they were like, wow, I can't believe it happened. They all thought it was bullshit, but they were open-minded and they were willing to see what Dr. Gullion and his team were going to find out. Yeah, there was like no data, no DNA, no nothing, no parents, no baby. They didn't even bring a picture. Like, I was thinking about that. Why couldn't you just take a picture of the baby? You know, something. Like nothing. The only thing that she did.
Find a picture of the baby on the internet.
It's 2002.
There was the internet in 2002.
To put a picture of a baby, people weren't doing that. They were looking at like line by line porn and like going on gore.com or some shit.
Line by line porn. Did you get like the binary code for porn?
No,
like
I had,
the Matrix?
you had when you had dial up. I don't know. You don't even know what that is.
You had to wait for it
one
to
line
load.
would come at a time, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, here comes the nipple." Almost
I'm
there.
not that young. I know what.
No, it's just a bunch of ones, and then right in the middle there's 2 zeros, and the dudes are like, nice.
Close your eyes and
Sweet.
read the numbers in your head, and then you can picture boobs.
What information did she give? Not born in the US, right?
She was born in the country she was born in.
Yeah.
And that's all the details you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's it.
We call her Eve. That's not her name.
Yeah, you didn't get her name. You're not getting her real name. So that was the two things that she actually did give, in my opinion, was like not born in the US.
That's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She was born Christmas Day.
Of course.
They call her Eve.
It's
You're French. Call her Noelle, you dumb.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that would have been
Yeah.
a great name, way better name. I thought that was kind of cute, actually. Media, though, they saw this and they fucking blew up the headlines. Where headlines were like, "World's first clone" or "Clone attempt happened." And to be fair to them, buried in the article would say like Clonaid's claims were not proven or unproven or whatever. But like the headline is so misleading. It makes them think that these guys, we have clones now. Clones are a thing now. It's not. No one's proven it yet. Since the media is all over it, this lawyer, this family court lawyer, Bernard Siegel, stirs the pot a bit. He files suit in Broward County Circuit Court to have a judge appoint a special guardian for baby Eve. It's like, okay, if you got a baby, who's watching them? He put to the judge, he said that Clonaid is exploiting this baby right now. Nobody's seen it. It probably has birth defects. I want to be able to monitor this is a science baby. We should all be taking care of it. I don't trust Clonaid to do it. And he had no reason to do it. This family lawyer guy had no reason to bring up anything. He just legitimately, I think this guy actually, if there's a kid involved, I want to make sure they're safe. The only reason he didn't work for the FBI, no government, nothing. Before any of the trial, Bridget, Rael, and Bernard Siegel go on Connie Chung. They go on CNN. By this time, like I said, the scientific community thinks they're horseshit. Everybody else kind of thinks they're horseshit, including the White House, like George W. Bush at this point. It's like, this is troubling. I don't believe it, but it's troubling. Everyone's doing this. And Connie knows this, okay? This is kind of a fun thing for her. You can see it in her eyes. She's having fun with the whole thing. Rael asks her, Connie Chung, he's like, can you call me His Holiness? So she's like, okay. So this is
You said that to Connie Chung?
yeah, oh yeah.
That's balls, dude.
Here's a direct Connie quote from the she's questioning Rael just before she says this, and she's questioning Raelism, sorry. And she says she's talking to Rael, okay? She says, now you say it's a religion. However, there's been reports that you freely have sex with women who follow you. How can the American public believe that you aren't anything but a megalomaniac who is the head of some cult? And he's like, that's complete horse. I forget what he says exactly. It's that's slander or whatever. You could just tell she didn't give a fuck. This guy, you're a jackass. Get the fuck out of here.
Hell yeah.
Rael's pissed. And the whole time, Rael, during that, I tried to find the video of it, but there's so much Connie Chung out there, it's hard. And the whole time, Rael's trying to distance himself from Clonaid. He keeps going like, I'm not part of Clonaid. I'm just their spiritual leader. Except when it comes to going on Connie Chung, then I'm here for them. Like, why are you, if you have nothing to do with Clonaid, why are you on Connie Chung right now, dickhead?
He's got to show off that beautiful top knot.
Yeah. And she keeps going like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Oh, do you think it's real? Like, have you seen the baby? He's like, I haven't seen the baby, but I trust Bridget. So no one's seen the baby? Not one person, not even Rael?
Bridget is tobacco hair? So she should have been on Connie Chung.
She was sitting there letting Rael talk. Exactly. She didn't say anything. Well, from my transcript, what I saw, because I was trying to find the videos. I couldn't find them.
She kept trying to say something, but Connie Chung kept like looking under the desk to find like the controls and the hand that was making her head move, so they had to cut it all out.
So anyways, I just found that funny, him being like, I'm not part of this, but I'll talk about it on national television in America. I'm like, okay, good for you, man. On January 23rd, 2003, January 9th, 2003, Dr. Gullen quit trying to verify Clonaid's claims. He just got fed up. The people at Clonaid weren't helpful at all. No communication or cooperation of any type, meaning Clonaid wasn't granting access to the baby or the family. Dr. Gullen said that his team was on standby for if the DNA ever did come in, but I think he knew it was never going to happen. Dr. Gullen even went as far as to say that he suspected the whole thing was an elaborate hoax to promote Raelism to the world.
Thought you were going to say racism.
I think his symbol did that too. A bunch of other experts agreed, like a UCLA professor was like, you can have proof in one day. You don't need a week. Like, what do you need a week for? You're lying. So like I'm saying, mid-January, they're fucked. January 22nd, Bernie finally gets Clonaid in court. This case was a nightmare for Clonaid. Siegel subpoenaed Thomas Kanzig, Kaenzig. He was the vice president of Clonaid, and his testify basically Clonaid was a sham business. They had no board of directors, just Bridget and him that were in the company that he knew of. His job as vice president was basically to keep the website up to date, clonaid.com, which is still there, which I'm going to tell you right now, he's not doing a good job. It's not up to date. Yeah, his other job.
What a shitty vice president.
The second job was to take any emails that came in and forward it to Rael and Bridget, so they could like, if anybody was like, we want to clone, they get Bridget and Rael would get the call, and they'd be like, okay, make a side deal, like donate to Raelism and we'll make this shit happen. Yeah, that was the scam of it. Like no money ever went through there. So it must have went all through the church. No DNA was ever sampled, like at all. The court never got to see any of that. The kid was never seen in court or otherwise. The case was eventually dismissed though, because the baby was supposedly in Israel and out of the US jurisdiction. Bridget goes and tells the judge under oath that the baby exists. Like, that's perjury. And she says, we're going to keep cloning, but we're just not going to do it in the US. So we moved our lab somewhere else. That's how that ends, basically, with their court case. They don't say where it is. Everyone thinks they're horseshit. By April, a couple months later, they say there's 2 more clones born. Everyone's kind of like, good for you. By 2004, like, everyone just doesn't care. Like, show me some proof. By 2004, they said they got up to 13 clones born. So in a span of 2 years. After that, their number has never increased ever. It's only been 13 and nearly 20 years. Nobody else has ever cloned anybody else or shown any proof of cloning anybody else. The primate thing is the most.
I didn't do that anyway.
The primate thing is the most recent thing, and that's the closest to humans they can prove. By 2003, whenever Bridget was questioned about the clones, she says that they exist, but she goes, they exist, but she changes the focus completely to her new project, conversation of her new project, which is called the Babytron.
Son of a bitch.
The Babytron is an artificial womb.
Oh.
So poor choice for name. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely not what I thought. Babytrons, okay? We make babies so that we can pretend we clone babies and show them robot babies.
Yeah, that's
I was thinking like a cartoon version of the movie Tron with like a baby Jeff Bridges, sort of like Baby Muppets.
Aww.
Babytron sounds cute as fuck now.
That
You
sounds
did it.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Babytron.
Like Clonaid and Clitoride before them, she named the company building the Babytron. Can you guess?
Baby aid.
Surrogate. 2004, a new company's formed. It's called STEMaid. Raelism decided, I guess we're getting, because do you notice how the clones stopped going up in 2004, but a new company starts in 2004? Which is a stem cell company, which just seems clone adjacent. It seems like they just want to be, which makes more sense anyway. Like, you want to make clones that they're one of the things they're saying is to like cure disease and you have extra body parts or whatever. Why would you build a full person if you could just use a stem cell to build a liver? Just to build, like, that's what stem cells do. They can make anything in your body. So it makes more sense if that's the real reasoning, to live forever. Just make the parts. Don't make the full person unless you know how to transfer memories. I saw the STEMaid thing. I went on the website and I was like, who's in charge of STEMaid? Because it was connected to another website that was Raelism thing, but I couldn't find any connection to Raelism. And then I write STEMaid CEO and it pops up Bridget Hanley. And I look at it. This is fucking Bridget Boisselier, but she just did the whole John Wayne Gacy thing and made up a fake thing, Jack Hanley. Instead of Jack Hanley, it's fucking Bridget Hanley. And she just changed her name and now she's in charge of STEMaid too. So this is what she's been up to. She's just doing, they still have that exist to this day. The STEMaid website and the Raelism website are both very well up to date. The Clonaid one's dead, so I think they're kind of done on Clonaid. It's still there though. If you want to fill in your information, you want to try and get a clone from them, I'm sure they'll take your money. You know, I'm sure they will. So try that out if you'd like.
Do they like prorate it? So like if I give them like $5, I can get like the tip of like a pinky finger.
Maybe you'd have to go check it out. You have to send him email. And then Rael himself might email you back and say, hey, if you get
No, don't send them an email because that guy doesn't do his fucking job. Your email's not going to get
that's true.
forwarded.
I'd like to get a hold of Rael so I
it's
can go
no
watch
point.
a cellular transfer, but that's just me.
I'll word it like a scam email and just be like, dear gracious sir, I have come into a large sum of money, and see if they're stupid enough that it gets them.
Maybe. I doubt it though, because I'm looking at
Maybe.
Bridget's social media doing this. She literally has 12 followers on Twitter and 29 connections on LinkedIn. It's a sad CEO's day for her.
Let's make it 16.
Yeah, let's make it.
Dude, I love obscure follows. I
Yeah.
love
I
that.
bet if we like give her like a surge of follows all of a sudden, we could probably like talk.
We can get an interview with her. I would
Mhm.
love to.
Think about it. Maybe it's not all bullshit. Maybe they can actually clone. How much easier would your workload for the podcast be if there were
That's
like
true.
two of all of you? You could even
That
just
baby's
have
got to
like,
be old enough to do some editing now.
yep, maybe like every other month you do an all Richards episode. So it's just like 4 or 5 Richards just
Saying profanities into the void.
yeah.
Fuck. No, you fuck. Cunt. No, you cunt.
For 2.5 hours.
I hate translucent people.
Napoleon. Anyway, the Raelians never given any proof to the clone, so I doubt that it was a thing. But who the fuck knows? Maybe there's some 20-year-old clones walking around among us today. I think the whole thing was about publicity. Really, I think that she went there, said we're going to clone, got more press than she thought she was going to get, and the Raelists benefited from it. The reason I think that because in 2003. Rael says he's so impressed by Bridget, how she handled herself with the Clonaid. And I think he means got the publicity, not the actual making a clone. He was going to will her the cult. So when he dies, she gets to be the cult leader.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. It's
Nice.
you did a good job. Got some people eyes on the thing. You can be the prophet. I'll talk to my buddy.
I don't think she has the head for the top knot. I don't think that will look as good.
I don't know. Just wait for the salon to fill up their spit bucket from all the chew. She'll be good.
Rael's still kicking. Him and Bridge. That's what I'm calling Bridget now. She's cool.
Nice.
He and Bridge are both still actively giving Raelism speeches around Europe and Quebec and some parts of the States. In 2018, Vice did a documentary on Rael and his cult. It's called Prophet and the Space Aliens. The Prophet and the Space Aliens. You can watch it on YouTube. It's 2 hours long. I watched it all and it was entertained throughout the whole thing. But I mean, not for everyone. I like this alien shit. I think it's hilarious. So, all right. Anyways, I could have went forever researching Raelism and like the Elohim and the fucking all that shit. I was having so much fun, but I kind of try to keep it on the cloning side of things. But there's a lot more to this fucking religion. Maybe I'll do like a bonus episode one day where I just go nuts deep into Elohim and all that kind of stuff.
I don't want you to do it unless you do your hair like his.
Oh, I wish my hair was long enough. It's not long enough yet.
Yes.
You can get there.
Can't do a top knot, but I do have the bald spot. So yeah. So do you guys think that cloning? I don't think anybody got cloned.
I don't understand how they didn't like. Maybe how much money did they like raise in the entirety of their existence? Like maybe like I don't know, maybe 100 million all told.
I'm gonna say at least that because the way they say it anyway, from what they make it sound like, they have unlimited funds because they always get all these rich people to like sign up. Like there's some shit about this where like they claim a lot of their customer base is in Hollywood. Like on their website, if you look around, it says a lot of our people are from like LA. They claim to just have a bunch of people cloned.
So not Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
Maybe
it just says
we have many rich clients in Hollywood, Florida. They have 6-figure incomes.
Gladys.
That's rich for Florida.
And they have 6-fingered people because they won't leave the fucking alligators alone.
I don't know. I'm down. People can clone me. There's a whole like ethics thing with like who owns your DNA too. There's this company that started copywriting DNA.
What?
Yeah, because
there's no argument about who owns your DNA. You do. End of story.
It's not true. If you've done 23andMe, someone else has got all that shit. That's all those companies are about.
Or for sure, or just some evil Clonaid people see you wipe your mouth at the store and they want to make you. They just take your napkin and go with you, and then they make it a little you.
I gotta be more careful with my DNA. I've been leaving it everywhere willy-nilly, never even considering that someone's gonna steal it from me.
Fucking eating at a Wendy's and I toss my cup in the trash can and like 4 dudes in white tunics with top knots dive in there. It's like, get it, hurry.
Wrap it up. We need another RJ.
Imagine they cloned you, but you had like 20/20 vision.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll just kill myself and then be that dude then.
Well, we could talk
Because that's how it works.
we can talk a little
Yeah.
bit about this too. Actually, gene editing, which I read a little bit about too. Like there's a lot of conspiracy out there that, and I don't know how true this is. Maybe it is true, but apparently Michael Jackson's kids are designer children used with CRISPR technology.
Oh, that I believe entirely. Yeah.
So that's part of this, like the whole. It's under the same umbrella with this whole cloning thing with the stem cells and stuff like that. Like they want to make designer babies now. They have that thing where they can gene edit things. It's fucking crazy. It's a weird world. I wouldn't be surprised if there is clones. That's the other thing. I would not be surprised.
Well, when I think that shit, like legit ones, like that's like some Russia and China stuff. Like, they for sure do not abide by any of the worldwide ethics that even the countries that abide by the worldwide ethics and all that shit don't actually abide by. Russia and China are outspoken about not being like, yeah, no, we're not dealing with world police shit.
Yeah, but-
we do our own thing.
But they're the most honest, because you think like the US is going like, I would, but the Geneva Convention, no, they don't give a fuck either.
No, fuck no, they're not honest, dude. I was listening to fucking NPR the other day with the Chinese ambassador to the US, and all they were talking about was like the actual verifiable things that NPR reporters have seen, whether it's the Uyghur genocide in prison camps, or if it's like the facial recognition technology that they employ. And the ambassador's like, oh, no. These are all just fabrications. That's not how it works. The Chinese people's approval of the government is above 91%. Which, yeah, because you asked them to do a survey that said, do you approve of the government? And there was one bubble that said yes. And then there was just a picture of a guy with a gun underneath that.
Oh, yeah. Terrifying countries.
So I think they for sure have it. I don't know. I think like the whole like ethics behind all that stuff is what ultimately like the dude was like talking about how religion and all that stuff drags it down. I think it's honestly just any kind of puritanical stuff. Truly, if like we were actually just trying to advance science, we would just be doing all sorts of horrible shit to prisoners like they did during wartime.
Yeah.
And we now carry those scientific advancements into today. Whether or not that's okay is obviously the debate, but that is what holds it up.
And I think the whole ethics thing is for the general public, really. It's not for the scientists. They're just trying to keep people happy. At the end of the day, these scientists are just going to go like, look what I made, guys. Like, you know what I mean? It's not they look at it like a science project, not like you're making a human.
I think it's a long game. I think it's like you master genetic designing until you have officially successfully designed the perfect human, and that's when you start cloning them. What's the point of cloning all these defective fuckers?
Yeah, and you clone a bunch of them, and then you start fucking them, and that's how we become the aliens and the gods of our world.
Well, that's another thing with Raelism. That's what their main thing is they say getting to the highest form of enlightenment is creating life. So that's what the Elohim did for us. They made us, and we're going to go out into space and we're going to make life on a different planet. And that's going to be our ultimate.
What in the fuck have we been doing? Life finds a way. Are we not making life already? The fuck kind of belief system is that?
I mean, I don't know. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say like creating new life is what they mean, not like reproducing, like
Then why are they trying to identically clone an existing life? That's literally the opposite of new life.
It's part of the process to get there to their point. Like the more you do, the more you'll know. And the more, if you can make a clone of yourself, you can live forever. And then you can start CRISPR technology with fucking stem cells, throwing it on.
So you can just like spontaneously produce people. Like with no anything involved, you can just create a booth that spontaneously develops a human being.
Use your own DNA and
like 3D prints a person.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys all have children, so you know how that works. Like that already exists. You don't need any special equipment.
Well, I've done it both ways. I've done it the old-fashioned way and
Ooh, okay, so
way.
partially
So.
you have a hybridization. You have the equipment and the
So basically, Gabe and Lara are
nice.
clones.
It was right under our noses the whole time.
Yeah.
We should have known.
We have clones.
There is apparently in Australia. One of those 13 is Australian. Just so you know, there's one in Japan. There's one in the Netherlands. They're all over the world.
That was a lot.
Mm.
I think she's a bit unimpressed.
I upset
It's a lot to take in. I just
Chrissy and I are like, wow, yeah. Celeste is like, boo.
Yeah, cool.
Not boo you, just boo the fucking whole idea behind this entire. I'm not a fan of cults. I'm also not a fan of cloning. I'm also not a fan of anything that supports having more people. We need less people. This is like very important.
Yes, please.
Yeah. It'd be cool though to like, okay, what if it was perfect like Elohim style where I could just make another one of you? But like,
why? I don't even like me. I don't want to hang out with me.
No, you're at the hospital. You just were in a car accident. You're fucking about to die. The only one way to save you is to clone you and put you back. You can come back that way and then let your other body die. Do you do that?
That's not saving me. I still die.
The other one's gone.
Yeah, but like
you're not there
you
anymore.
can have the knowledge of knowing.
I just curse a blank slate with my life.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, man. I'm down for it.
It'd be cool if you could choose what their life was going to be. Like if you could bring them back and like if you could clone yourself and be like, so when I do clone myself, I'm going to be super intelligent and I'm going to be a millionaire.
You're just going to clone money too.
Or you just
have super boobies. I'm gonna have super.
You take some cells when you're 25, okay, and you just keep those. And then when you're 70,
that's a good idea.
But I guess you'd lose all your life. You would all be gone. You'd be back to 25-year-old dumb Richard. But this time I'm
no, but it would be sick if you logged everything.
Yeah, why don't you just upload people to the cloud? Don't give us new bodies. Bodies are shit. The only good thing about being alive is the mind.
You know what? That's true. I'd rather have one of those like Boston Dynamic Pitman bodies where I can run around like a fucking robot with my brain. That'd be way cooler than getting a new body.
Oh, that would be pretty sick.
You could literally just like fucking have an orgasm button and just all fucking day.
Just button mash the orgasm button.
I mean, I would prefer there to be a timer on that one because that would be.
It's stuck.
I could.
Well, yeah,
inconvenient.
Because then, that was a perfect representation of what literally everybody would do. Like nothing would get done. It would just be boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And then if
it'd lock into a countdown until you can do it again.
If there was no countdown and you were trying to do anything, your friend would go press it while you're like doing a speech. You know what I mean? So it'd be like you'd have to.
You're like some guy. Yeah.
Oh.
It'd be like that dude that just runs past people and presses their button.
Yeah. While pressing his own button.
That'd be Richard. Yeah, that'd be Richard.
That's what my pencils are for. Extendo hands a little longer. I can reach.
Oh man.
Yeah, it always comes back to sex and money with humans always.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to that's a great way for us to get in early on virtual capitalism is lock the O buttons behind a paywall. Yeah. So like microtransactions.
Somewhere Elon Musk is like furiously scribbling this right now.
You can get the battle pass and then it's like at a monthly rate.
What do you think about the Elon Musk stuff? If we're in on it a little bit, we still got a recording, like him making the little chip for your brain where you can like have
that. I don't care for that at all. I'm not gonna buy into that. I got the brain chip right here. It already exists. It's an extension of my body as is. I don't need it implanted physically. And I will be an old curmudgeonly asshole about that until I die.
I don't know, man. If they gave you the orgasm button, I think you'd step in line.
I know. I'd be out there just waving a cane like, oh, you fucking kids, and you don't know what it's like to do it the old-fashioned way.
Pull up Pornhub and
you
click
got your
control.
cum buttons and you're wearing your rubber pants, knowing you're gonna jizz all day.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Like art would be different. There'd be nothing like turning people on anymore. You know what I mean? It would be just like you can just come anytime you want.
People did also say that about TV and then the internet and stuff. I don't know. Maybe the buttons will become part of art.
Can you come without the internet?
Yeah. I mean,
and a person without a person.
Yeah, I was like, he's got a human
jacking off. I mean, are you jacking off without the internet? This is the question I'm asking.
I'm gonna defer back to you and wonder if this is like a sort of stonewall because, like, I feel like you're anticipating me being like, no, I guess not, and you're gonna be like, that's right. But I feel like you'd be the only one. I don't think that's that hard.
I don't think it is either. I was just trying to see because I know
all right.
I know people that are approximately like a little younger than me that say like require the internet to jerk off now. I was born when I had to find porn in a ditch. So I didn't
To make his own porn in the sand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Draw it with a stick.
It wasn't accessible like it is now. Like some kids have grown up just at always being around. Not me. I have.
Yeah, there's not a big of an age gap between us as I think you think.
But the world's changed a lot. What's
It's like 20
what's the age
years.
gap? How old are you?
I'm 29.
Yeah, I'm 38.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got friends your
Okay,
age.
I know
Yeah.
you do. I'm your friend. My point is,
Yeah.
I've got friends your age. You're not one of them.
sure,
He's
but
talking
my
about
point
me,
is, I
Richard,
get
not
that.
you,
But I mean,
me.
in 10 years difference, when I was in high school, I didn't have internet.
Yeah, Richard and I had dial-up internet, like fucking 64 kilobytes a second was our
But I think we're
internet.
just on opposite ends of the millennium spectrum or the millennial spectrum because I'm pretty sure you guys are still classified as millennials.
Is that a millennial spectrum? Is that like a spectrum now? Is that like being Downs?
Spectrum disorder.
Are we autistic?
We're all on the spectrum, baby.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Head on over to our Facebook and Instagram to join in on the conversations about all things unethical. Just search Unethical Podcast. You can also find us on Patreon, where you can get access to all of our super awesome content, uncut videos of our discussions, and early release of all the episodes. We are adding fun stuff all the time, so you should definitely come and check it out. Thanks again. We appreciate all of you.